get inspired, be encouraged. Live your God-inspired radical life on purpose. This is your girlfriend moment with me.
Hey girlfriends, I'm so glad you're tuned in to another girlfriend moment. Oh man. Okay, so it's spring. Let me just do all of them, run through all of them. So spring, showers, cool breeze, not a lot of hot temperature, at least for me, because you know the weather is good here. But enough of that. We have been talking about strength, and I've been in the hot seat because I've been a little transparent with you. And I believe that sharing my testimony helps me overcome, but it helps you see that you are not the only one. We are all being tempted. We are all being tested. We are all going through some type of trial. If we're not in a trial, we're coming out of a trial or we're going into a trial. But the one thing that we all have in common is there is a great God. He sits high on the throne. Now, either you know him or you don't know him, but the thing that we have in common is that God, there is access to that God. There is a way that each one of us can reach that God. There is a way that each one of us can get strength from him. So when I was thinking in my mind, okay, so I grew up in a family where we looked at a lot of sci-fi. And I don't know if you remember this is crazy, but you remember Freddy Krueger? If you don't, Freddy Krueger was this monster or this boogeyman that came in your dreams, and he would murder people in their dreams, and he would come through. It's like he became real in people's dreams, and people believed him so strongly. Okay, why am I talking about Freddy Krueger? Sometimes when we are in our trials and our situations, just like in those horror movies where Freddy Krueger is coming through their dreams, we allow our imaginations to become our reality. So I gotta use this analogy. It's me talking about these last few years of me, what I felt was the trial of my life. And it was a trial of my life because I was confronted with Nia. You know, I can't account for what other people did or what other situations, because I can't control those. When I stand before God, God is going to ask Nia what she did. But in that trial, you know how in the horror movie, you have the one girl that falls? She sees the enemy coming after her, and she trips up and she falls. And everybody is saying the same thing. Get up. Why would you fall? Get up, get up. Well, sometimes I found myself feeling like I was running from an enemy in my imagination. I was running from an enemy that God had already defeated. I was running from an enemy that wasn't really real, that didn't really have power over me like I had given it in my imagination. And while I was running, losing strength because I was running, it seemed like God was out of reach for me. And I'm reminded of a scripture. So I have to read this scripture. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. I like one translation that says, God is within her. She will not fall. Oh, man. That the joy and the strength that I get in realizing that there is a God that loves me, and that even in my imagination, when I feel that I have fallen so low, that his love and his compassion will give me the strength to get back up. I am telling you, oh man, sometimes if I can let you come in the background and you can see sometimes in those trials where I'm wrestling inside of my mind, and I'm wrestling with thoughts, and I'm wrestling with discouragement, and I was wrestling with depression. It's almost like the girl in the horror movie that was running, and the boogeyman was magnified in my mind. Defeat was magnified in my mind. Just like some of you may be now. It's magnified in your mind. You just came out of Mother's Day, but can't celebrate Mother's Day because all of your situations, your hurt, your disappointments, your trials, your struggles, they've been magnified in your mind to the point where you feel like you've fallen and you can't get up. But I'm reminded, the psalmist says that God is within her. She will not fall. And so that was encouragement to me, that even when I got past a barrier, even when I got to a breaking point, even when I got to a point where the Freddy Krueger of my trial was coming at me and it was looking like it was going to destroy me, God reminded me, see, now that you're weak, this is when my strength can show up. This is when my strength matters the most, is because you can't create something to get yourself out of this situation. You can't make up something to get yourself out of this situation. You almost have to go limp. Like I had to go limp in the presence of God and let him strengthen me. I had to go limp in the presence of God and let him give me the substance I needed for the journey, because it wasn't within me. It wasn't within my flesh. It was God within me. It wasn't my flesh. It wasn't my own strength. It wasn't my own might. And so if you need to be strengthened, you need to find strength to get through the storm. I'm telling you, when I hear women say, oh, give me an answer, but don't preach to me the Bible. Give me an answer, but don't tell me. I don't want to hear, go pray about it. I don't want to hear this and about the word. And I don't want to hear this. I want you to be real with me. You can't get no realer than God. It can't. And sad to say that if you think that the strength that you have without God is real strength, when it runs out, please send me an email and tell me how that's working for you. Because that strength will deplete. It won't last. It doesn't last in eternity. It doesn't give you a joy. If your situation don't change and it's a part of you, it doesn't give you a joy where you can look in the face of adversity and say, for God I live and for God I die. Man, I'm telling you, I just want to leap right now. Not just because I'm encouraging myself while I'm talking, doing this girlfriend moment, because I'm on a journey right now personally, but I know that there are girlfriends and there are sisters that are watching this that are going to be encouraged. Okay, so I want to take a pause. In Psalms 28:7, it says this: the Lord is my strength and my shield. Sometimes we can be faced with trials and we can be put in situations where it almost feel like there's no protection for us. But I like what the psalmist, he said, not only will God be your strength, but he'll be your shield in the middle of that storm. He'll be your shield in the middle of that trial. He'll be your shield against the arrows of your enemy. So listen, I know we're talking about strength and it's a process. And you may be wondering what I need to do to begin the process. Okay, let's start with this. Pause. Confess, God, I can't do this on my own. I can't make it on my own. I have another single that's coming out. So it's God is fighting for me. And that song was written because I had gotten to the point that I felt like things happening around me had me on the ropes. I felt like I was suffocating. So, as a woman, we still do life. We're still mama. We're still wife. We're still sister. We're still friend. We still do ministry. We're still encouraging other people. But all along, you're hanging on the ropes and you feel like every punch that's coming is going to knock you out. And I remember my husband looking at me and he said to me, babe, God is fighting for you. Man, I sat down. 5 minutes, I wrote a whole song. And I said, God is fighting for me. He's providing for me. He is fighting this battle I'm in. And I am not alone. I win. I am not alone. See, that's how strength comes. When you realize that God is always there. Whew. We got to stop this girlfriend moment because it's just a little bit touchy. So until next time, this has been your girl, Nia Kelly. We're out.
This is your girlfriend moment with me. Lord, I'm trusting in this path you've chosen.